you're Peter?
Yeah.
And you're Jessica?
Yeah.
Good. I thought you guys actually have a. You said you have a trailer.
The trailer is
It's
like
in
5
the-
minutes down the road. In a
Okay.
parking lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We just have to put it in a marina because we live in the middle of Fremont. We live in the city, so like there's nowhere to put it in the city.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we keep it like right around the corner over there in a marina.
Okay. So marina is not only for boats, but also you can store trailers there.
So it's an older marina, so they have like a lot of like extra storage.
You said that you guys are living Fremont.
Yeah, Fremont. So it's like maybe 10 minutes up the road. It's kind of a downtown-y community area.
Our Google campus.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Google and Adobe and Tableau. It's
Oh,
right in the middle of all that.
So you guys are from like Google?
Yeah.
So no, I'm originally from DC and I moved out here for Microsoft, but then I left Microsoft and went and did consulting.
Cool. And this time, according to Jessica, you're trying to sell your trailer, not the van.
No, not the van.
We
Not the van.
were
Okay.
keep our van.
So we just did 6,500 miles. So that's like 11,000 kilometers across the country with the trailer and the van.
Yeah.
1.5 months.
And the trailer is amazing and I love it. But the van is so convenient. It's just so nice to not have to find camping grounds. It's just so nice to be able to have everything in here. Like we have everything we need minus a shower and a toilet in here, right? So
you actually have a fridge over here. It's a portable.
And then it's kind of portable. I mean, you could make it portable, but we don't take it out. It stays right here. And
cool.
Yeah, and then it's hooked up to both the AC and the DC system.
Okay.
So when we're here, it's on the solar, and when we're at a campground or something like that, we can just plug it into the AC and use it there.
This van looks pretty customized.
It
so
was
you
bare metal when we bought it.
You built it by yourself or
Bare metal, every single thing. The only thing I hired somebody to do was put the backup camera on.
Okay.
And that was just because I didn't have time. I was leaving town the next day.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, every single. Oh, and I hired a company to make these cabinet doors, just the doors, the faces, because it was really like you just give them the exact size you want, and then you tell them what kind of wood you want, and they just mail them to you. It was really nice. But I mean, everything inside, like we built the cabinets, we put this on, and everything. This is all us.
Okay, pretty cool. So you build the whole van yourself, all these furnitures.
Yeah.
And it's basically handmade.
Yeah. So we live in a little 1-bedroom apartment. It's not even a it's a small 1-bedroom apartment. So everything we did in Home Depot parking lot.
Okay.
So we just go into the back of the Home Depot parking lot, and I have all of the tools. When we started, everything was so simple. Like the floor, I just had felt. I just had just cheap fabric just covering the floor, right? So it's always kind of evolving. In the next week, we're probably going to redo the bed. Keep something similar, but just change a few minor things on the bed. And then after we do that, we're going to take this, shift this whole thing over, take this heater out, and put a shower back there.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, it actually sounds like time consuming.
Yeah,
stuff,
exactly. Exactly. But you do it in small projects, and the thing is, it's still completely functional. Like, we're really happy with it. So it's not like, oh no, we can't go on a trip because our bed doesn't work, right? Our bed's fine. We're just going to make it better.
Just one question, since you're 2 people living here and looks like it's a single bed.
Have you seen this? Have you seen the bed? Do you know how that works?
Oh, it's foldable?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I need to move that.
So
no, I haven't seen this.
So this comes out, and then there's legs that flip down.
Oh yeah.
And then there's 2 mattresses, so the 2 mattresses go side by side.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to keep the same design of the bed where it folds up. The difference is instead of the 2 pieces going over under each other, we're going to have the piece become a sofa, right? Because right now, when we're here, we can sit. And we sit like this all the time, like a lot, right? Yeah. But it's not a sofa. It's just, so we'll have the back of the bed rise up, and that's what we were just talking about is exactly the mechanics of it, but we'll have some sort of mechanism so that it comes out as opposed to sliding like this. There also is a bunk bed in here. I don't know where the piece is.
In here, a bunk bed?
Yeah.
Really?
So this
So
fits perfect.
You're getting mess. We travel, we can sleep side by side, but when his buddy travel, like someone
Too big. We are too big.
Too big.
I'm 6'3",
Just
and then he's 6'4". It's just too big for both of us, right? So this thing, you take this piece of metal out, clip this into this hole, take this, and it sets right on top of here.
Wow.
Right? I'd have to move. Actually, I don't really have to. Just move this piece. Set this on here, and then
Yeah, I got the gist.
yeah, and then there's pins that lock in here. But this bed is the exact same length as this bed, so I can just grab one of these two mattresses,
Okay.
toss it right on top here, and you sleep like that.
Wow.
Right?
So you figured it out by yourself? Like use the use the stick underneath. So basically, you know, since here is like at the queen bed over here, and usually it sleeps two. And so from my perspective, and one person should be like a head over here and a feet over here.
Head to feet.
Head to feet. Okay.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
And because this isn't going to be strong enough to support you sitting on,
Yeah.
but it'll support your feet. I mean, that's just, it's not that much weight, right? But this is, I mean, this is as solid as anything. I mean, this is...
Yeah, and that's why the
that's
the
why
cabinet
this section's
just
open
has
back here.
the gap
Right,
there.
so I didn't run the cabinet all the way to the end. I stopped the cabinet here. Here, it's all open.
Okay.
So when somebody's sleeping here, it's not like there's a cabinet over their head. They have a little bit of room.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The next iteration of the van, where probably this heater is going to come out, and I'm going to replace this with the diesel heater. So 3 years ago when I started this project, there were a lot of different options for how to heat it, and this was one of them. But nowadays, everybody uses those Chinese diesel heaters.
Diesel, yeah.
Those little Chinese $130. So I'm going to put one down under here. And then I'm going to put a diesel water heater, so it's basically the same thing, but it heats water instead of heating air. And I'm going to put that down here.
Okay.
So I'll have the water on this side and the air heating on this side, but that'll free up this, right? So I won't need this. This thing is incredible. It can, we slept in 0 degrees, which is, what was it?
We use
Negative
it to bring our van
14.
to ski all the weekend.
That's what it was built for.
You go to ski all the time? You
Yeah.
use the van?
That's what it was built for. Like that was the #1 thing I had to solve.
Yeah, me too. I like ski very much.
So everything's hyper insulated. I oversized the heater. I could have put a much smaller heater.
If you guys ski, right, and usually you have to get a shower or something.
That's what this was missing. That's what was driving me crazy. So we have the plans right now. It's marked on the floor. I'm going to put a shower in here, and it's going to only be a half shower, and then there'll be a curtain for the top half. But I'm going to do a recirculating shower. So there's going to be a 5-gallon tank right underneath here, and as you shower, it'll go back into the 5-gallon tank. It'll pull from that 5-gallon tank, filter it, and then you shower again.
Seriously,
it works. Like I'm convinced that this is the way to go.
Like it's instant filter. Like
Yeah,
right
so
away.
you have the triple filter, right? Like it's a residential filter. You just take out the one for chlorine. Right, because you don't need to worry about filtering chlorine, and that one will get clogged by the soap. So you have 3 filters. One filter cleans out the all the particles. One filter cleans out the soap, and then one is like just some post filter. And you just have that. It'll just be mounted down inside here. It'll pump it through the 3 big filters, and then you shower again. I mean, it won't be drinkable, but I mean it's plenty clean enough for showering.
Oh. That's an idea.
Yeah, so I think it's going to work really well.
So you guys are big fan of skiing?
We're big fan of skiing different places.
Snowboard?
Ski.
Ski.
Yeah.
Me too. Ski.
Yeah. But like the different places, right?
But basically, if you guys go on a kind of like trips, it usually is more than 2 people. I mean, if there's 3 people, I mean, you know, the maneuverability.
It'd be interesting to try it. I mean, we technically would have a place for 3 people to sleep. It would be very snug.
Yeah,
It would be very
squishy.
Yeah.
You know, stuff. What about the battery? Have you, you know, kind of like maximize your battery capacity?
I've overdone the battery.
Yeah,
and I'm glad I did, right? So because it's a ski thing, there's very little light in the winter. So I have huge solar panels to maximize the solar in the winter. But I have a 200 amp hour right there. I have a 1,000 or 1,200 watt inverter back there. And then on the wall up high in the back, I have an AC charger that'll charge the battery.
Okay.
Solar panel controllers up high right here. And then there's another thing back here. There's a second inverter right there.
Why do you need a second inverter?
So in the winter, it's really nice because you can top off your battery with the engine. But because this is a SLA, sealed lead acid, and then that's just a regular lead car battery, you can't just link them together and leave them linked because they charge differently. So one battery is going to get mad at the other. You're either going to be destroying the battery in the Mercedes, or you're going to be destroying the battery down here. So by doing this and having that inverter, I have one inverter off of this, one inverter off of that. The 2 electrical systems never cross, right? And it keeps in isolation.
Sounds like a very complicated, like 2 systems parallel.
It's complicated, right? But it works so simple and it keeps clean isolation. And before I had it this complicated, when it was like trying to be simple with just DC to DC, that's when it was just fighting these gremlins. Like I'd come to the van after like, you know, a week and I'd be at like 60%. I'm like, there's no reason this battery should be at 60%. This hasn't done anything. Once I got rid of that and got this isolated system, I've never had a problem with it anymore. What was the last electrical problem we had?
Coffee pot.
Yes. Okay, the coffee pot. So this is an 800 watt coffee pot. The inverter will produce 800 watts of power. The battery will produce 800 watts of power, but you can feel it getting warm. The battery does not like making 800 watts of power. So we're really cautious about using this coffee pot.
And we have plugged in.
Yeah, so we're still trying to figure out long term like how we're gonna do this coffee pot situation. That was a big one.
Oh, just light it up. Use some sort of stove.
That's what we have. We have. It's a pain though, right? It takes so long to do it. We drink a lot of coffee, so like.
We're a coffee person.
Yeah, so to take 10 minutes to make a cup of coffee is like, when you multiply that times 5 cups of coffee, you just killed an hour making coffee. The lighting system is kind of interesting. So there's 3 zones. So on overhead, we have all of these lights up to here are in one zone, and then these 4 lights are on a separate zone. And it's all controlled back here, right? And then there's this 3rd zone that's the inside of all of the cabinets. And also underneath there, right? And then there's one dimmer right here. And this dimmer controls the brightness for all of the lights.
Okay, good.
Right. The internet's interesting. So this is our internet router, right?
Okay.
So this is a Mophie 4500, but we took the antennas that it came with and took it off and put a big antenna on the roof. This Mophie has a SIM card in it, and then I have an extra SIM card, and it creates a hotspot around the car to get really strong Wi-Fi. Yeah. And it's really good, like when you're in the city. It actually doesn't work as well as it does outside of the city. It works a lot.
You can feel it because city doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So the Mophie stuff, because this is my first time I've heard of it, sounds like it's similar to that brand. It's called a Winegard.
Winegard, yeah. Winegard is what a lot of RV people use.
Is it similar?
Yeah, it's similar, but the nice thing about Mophie, and what I like about Mophie, is it allows you to use your own antennas. It allows you, like, the Winegard is like a completely contained system. Like, you pay Winegard their monthly fee and all that stuff. This, I stick in whatever SIM card I want to stick in.
Okay.
And, you know, I feel like with Mophie, I get a little bit more flexibility.
So still, you have to have some sort of like a signal, you know, a cell phone reception.
Yeah, now, if you step out for 1 second, let me stand right there. Back here, this antenna, this antenna can shoot a signal off of a lot more than than what your cell phone can pick up.
Okay.
Right. So when that's flipped up and I'm out in the middle of nowhere, my cell phone, maybe I can text. This I'll be able to get data. It's kind of funny. One of the things that I have when I put the antenna up, I always forget that I put the antenna up. So I just take this and I just stick this around the steering wheel. And it just reminds me that the antenna's up, so I don't drive away with the antenna up.
But what about the cell phone provider?
In there I have an AT&T unlimited data, and then this one up front is a Verizon.
So you switch manually?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep. I have to just pop that out, and then I take that SIM and slide it in.
Right.
What I like is this is a 144, and you and I are still in the same, like we're so far away, like it seems so open, and a lot of the 144s they end right here, and this is all bed, and it's just like there's a little like standing area, right? And like I love the fact that like we're still in the same, we can walk around, right? And I mean it feels a lot bigger than it is on the inside. And you know, I mean, I don't have any problems taking this around in the city. I don't have any problems taking it around on forest roads.
Oh, we have the projector.
Oh yeah, the projector. Yeah.
Projector.
So this one
movie?
is for the projector.
Seriously?
So this is our projector. You can plug in here,
Okay.
and this is the
the screen pops down.
The
from
screen.
Here.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys just sit over here and watch.
Yeah, we
usually
move the bed.
Yeah, usually
like,
the bed will be out, and we'll be getting ready for bed, and just lay down and watch a movie. And then we have the obligatory sticker wall.
Wow. That's a lot of. That's a lot of like national parks, I guess.
Yeah, different parks we've been to. One day I'd love to drive it up to Alaska. I think that would be a really fun drive.
Okay.
But
So this van never been to Alaska
has
so
not
far?
been to Alaska. No,
Okay.
It's been pretty much every state in the West, starting to hit the middle. As farthest east it's been is Nebraska and South Dakota.
Okay.
And then it's done every state, Arizona, down to Arizona, New Mexico, and west of there. So like 12 or 13 states.
You started this van, like you said, 3 years ago?
About 3 years ago, yeah.
And what made you, start
skiing?
Just
I hate ski traffic.
Yeah, me
I
too.
hate ski traffic.
Me too.
Right. So I wanted something because like I wanted a place to crash when skiing, and that was the main thing. So when I was building the original design, like I just made sure to over-engineer the insulation, put too much heating in, right? Everything about it was how can I stay warm?
Yeah.
And you know, and then from there, just by the nature of doing that, it just turned into a really great road trip. Right.
But what about if you're going to like a desert, too hot, and do you need any AC stuff? You know.
So the nice thing about a desert is it really cools off at night. But we have above. Let me close this real quick. Behind you, I have the fan.
Oh yeah, the fan.
Right, and you put that fan on, and you open up this air vent, or you open up one of those air vents, and it'll suck out a lot. And then we have this fan will come in and you can aim it wherever you want. So like,
okay, nice.
Right. And then this one is nice when you're sleeping because this one will blow on you because you always want this one sucking out. It's just the nature of these fans. They work best when they're pulling air out. So we leave this one always sucking air out, and then this is the air. This is the fan that we'll use to blow air on us.
Okay.
And then obviously both of them are all wired into the DC system.
Wow. So since it looks like it because the insulation is so good, so you don't have to like use the air conditioning.
Yeah.
It's just sucking the hot air out.
Yeah, and at night in the desert, it cools off.
How long took to build the whole stuff?
It never ends. I'm never done. I think that after I got the van, the first night that I spent in it was probably maybe 2 months later, and it was really primitive. Like you would not recognize the van back then. It's gone through a bunch of different revisions, but the first time I slept in it, it was very primitive, right? I mean, it was very basic, just like, you know, cleared out a spot and, you know, but I would work on it all the time. Like I went on a road trip, well, not a road trip, but like a long weekend, and brought all the wood and brought everything and just worked on it out in the desert. right? It was the winter, so it was really too cold, and it was going to be a rainy weekend in Seattle, and I wanted to do some work, and since I have to work outside, I don't have a garage for this. I'm like, where do I go? So I just loaded all the wood and all the tools, and I went out to the desert and just worked on it in the desert. It was warm and comfortable and nice. So like, it's a never-ending process.
Why didn't you just buy RV? RV has everything, right?
So, I mean, you back up to why I bought this, right? I bought this to be able to go skiing. There's very few that are 144s. Most RVs on the Sprinter frame are extended, right? The whole idea was just a place to crash when I went skiing and be warm, and it's evolved into this. But I don't think I'd give it up, because everything I have is the way I want it, right? I still get 21 miles a gallon on this thing, right? I mean, this is like, it drives like a car. And the real high-end ones, like the $100,000 ones, like the what are those companies?
Winnebago Revel.
The Revel. I mean, that's just so much money. Like, I mean, I bought the van for $14,000, 150,000 miles on it. I've not had any mechanical problems.
It runs on diesel.
It's diesel. Yeah, it's the Mercedes. It's a technically Dodge.
Dodge. Yeah.
But it's the Mercedes.
No, it's Mercedes.
V6. Yeah, I take it to the Mercedes dealership. The Dodge dealership doesn't really touch it. They don't know what to do with it.
It's a little confusing, because usually Dodge goes with this Ram Polo Master.
Yeah. There was a rule that you couldn't, for a couple of years, I don't know how many years, but you couldn't import German commercial vehicles, right? So or European commercial vehicles. So there were no European vehicles that were not for personal use. So Mercedes sold the Sprinter to Dodge for $1. Dodge sold the Cummins diesels and the transmissions to Mercedes for $1 as part of this swap agreement, so that Mercedes had diesel engines for trucks, like big trucks, and Mercedes got to sell their Sprinter as a commercial vehicle over here. So this was an old plumbing van when we got it. And then I've probably put, I mean, it's hard to judge. It's really hard to kind of put an exact price on how much because with stuff you've ripped out and evolved and broken, I've probably put about $10,000, maybe $12,000, maybe $15,000 in stuff into the van.
That's
what
good.
You see. I mean, the solar system and the batteries are probably $1,200 for the inverters and batteries and panels and all that wiring. That's probably the single biggest expense on here. And then everything else is just a lot of Home Depot wood, and you know, $160 for this, maybe $300 for this, right? Like lots of little things like that, but most of it's just time.
Yeah, since you just got this portable toilet, and what about it before? And you crush on, you know, at the ski area.
Trailheads. So you go. The ski area has portable toilets in the parking lot.
房车的这个事情呢，就是你只要把我的这视频全部都看一遍，我想基本上就是8九不离10了。但是呢，如果你没时间看那么多，看了之后还是没有办法理解，那我现在推出一个99美元咨询服务，回答你所有的疑问。So we're at the marina, right?
Yep.
That's for boat storage, but your trailer is over here. Oh, some people actually full-time living on it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So this marina has a lot of full-timers.
A lot of full-timers.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a new. You know, I've never heard of it before. I watch some TV shows that some people live on boats, but never seen them.
Yeah, this is it.
Oh, that's some kind of like a yard.
So these 5 buildings here are for yacht refurbishment. They do they'll take an older yacht and strip it all down and build it up. It's really cool to see them do that.
Why you guys actually come up with the idea, you know, the van towing a travel trailer? Why?
Because so we do a lot of work, right? And this is just a little tight to actually work in and set up a computer and actually do more than like an hour, just a quick couple calls. The idea behind it was this would be much more for like actually doing work and actually having like being able to spread out and do work. And you'll see on the inside we've made a couple little changes to make it a little bit better for doing that.
Work means your job?
Yeah.
Oh, so you can work from home?
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. Oh, you kept your battery in here. You don't remove your battery?
No, they're locked in its metal straps.
Okay.
And then there's a kill switch right here. So
yeah,
I can get it there. Okay. Yeah, so I just leave that there. The cover flew off somewhere in Colorado.
You know what? I've done the same thing. That's because you need to turn the whole cover the other side, so the flip should be.
So as you drive, it forces it down. Oh,
yeah,
and it's easy because all you do is just flip it. No big deal. Yeah. Oh, genius. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my cover flew.
Okay. So. Do you want to stand on the other side? See if I can open the.
No, not necessary. No.
No.
It's okay.
Okay.
The slide over here.
Yeah, when the slide's open, this is a monitor stand. This will sit in front of this, and this is just a regular office chair, but I mounted it on a boat.
Oh, you mounted it.
So it's fixed, right?
Yeah.
So there's no wheelie things or anything like that. But from here, I can sit and work. And it still reclines, it turns, like it's a normal, good office chair. Oh. And then this workstation will be right in front of you. But you got to imagine with the slide out, there's enough room to easily walk around. But we moved this forward, and it has a nice little latch point underneath there, so it stays in place while we drive. But we had a big sofa here, and we took that out, and now we have just this little love seat and then the office chair. But this is for working, right? So my monitor at home will just clip right into here. And you know, I have a 30-inch monitor to work from.
What's the model name of this trailer?
This is a Rockwood.
Okay, Forester River Rockwood.
Forester River Rockwood. It's a 1909S.
Meaning it's 20 footer or something.
It's like just shy of 21 feet long. One slide, single axle.
Okay, single axle.
So this is about as big as you can get with a single axle.
And what's the weight?
The weight is 32 dry, and I think it's like 37 as we travel. I mean, I generally dump all the tanks. Once in a while, I'll travel with full tanks.
But the dry weight that you said.
There it is, 33.49. That's it.
33.49.
Yeah.
Because that's important. Lots of people, you know, are choosing this one single axle trailer just because the weight. You know, it's lighter.
You can tow it with a small SUV, right?
But you're using your van towing this, and you said it's kind of like struggling.
The van has an insane towing capacity. It has 7,500 pound towing capacity, right? But when I have this and I'm traveling on flat land, it drives like a car. It's like, I mean, it speeds up like a car, slows down like a car, it feels like a car. The second you start to climb mountains, like I'm the guy in the right lane at 50 with my blinkers on, right? So it's something we definitely watch. I just wish the van had a little bit more power to pull that. The other best part about this whole trailer, 100% the best part of this trailer. And it's huge. It's huge.
It is.
Right? I mean, this is the same shower that Rockwood puts on their 30-foot trailers. Right? We haven't taken the trailer on a ski trip, right?
Oh no.
The trailer was really just used for this massive road trip around the country for what, 8 weeks. We lived in this trailer and the van combined. But the trailer is really nice because you park it at a campsite and then you pull the van in next to it, and you have the door of the van and the door of the trailer, and you just kind of go in and out of both and really use them both together. When
you're pulling the trailer out, you know, for your road trips, do you have to stay in the campground all the time?
Yeah, that's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Because with the van, we could just park on a Forest Service road, and you know, we went up some pretty sketchy roads with the van that I would not want to bring the trailer up.
Like a BRM van.
Like BLM, yeah. Some of that stuff was messy, yeah.
And so now, what made you feel like you want to sell it?
So it was an incredible trip. It was an absolutely incredible trip, and the trailer I think was $14,500, which is funny. It's the same price as the van. But the reality is I don't think I'm going to be doing too many more 8-week-long trips, right? And I think that on that trip, and using the trailer, it made me realize that we can do just a few changes to the van and accomplish most of why we wanted the trailer. Then you add in the fact that right now the demand for these trailers is through the roof. As you said, this is a single axle trailer. It's like something that can be towed by a family, you know, SUV. So the demand for these things is so high that I would be able to sell this thing for possibly even more than I paid for it. So like, I figure it was a really fun experiment. I loved it, but I can always get it again. I can just go get it later, right? So why not get rid of it, double down on the van, on tweaking the van to really kind of get rid of some of the things that I didn't like about the van. And
this trailer, you said you purchased how long ago?
Maybe May?
Cool.
Maybe April?
Oh, pretty new.
Yeah. April.
Pretty near. Yeah. April this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you purchased it for $14,500, and you're selling for similar.
At least that. No less than that. Yeah.